Hi guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster, and today I want to show you how to make a small bowl or a dish or something of that nature. It's a fairly simple process, and I'm going to use a piece of lime which I had lying around for a little while, and I'll take you through the steps I'll use to make a bowl. So first thing you want to do is split down your piece of wood, and you want to get roughly in half. You can go as big or as small as you like with this. So, take my forearm as an example. It's not a particularly large piece of wood, and the next step really is to smooth down the back with an axe. You want to get a nice, fairly flat edge on this. See, the benefit of this axe is you can almost use it like a plane, so you're not taking off large bits of material, you're just gently smoothing it down. And that, I mean, it's not perfect, but that's roughly, you know, as long as it's fairly smooth, you're fairly flat and stable. So once you've smoothed that down, what you want to do is basically lock it into whatever it is you've got. Obviously I tend to use the stump, so I'll stick a couple of little pegs or downs in there to hold it. And for the other side, I tend to use, it's an old axe head. It was a very cheap, badly made axe that I bought a while ago. And what you can do, I just use that like this, and take my drawer knife, and the first thing you need to do is basically take off your bark. In fact, this wood's probably a little bit too small to do this very well with a drawer knife. So what I may do is actually swap over to the push knife and see if that speeds things up. Right, so as you can see, we've taken off all of the bark, or majority of the bark. There's quite a large knot here, which we actually don't need to worry about too much. What I'll do, I'll move in a little bit closer and I'll show you where we would go from here. Okay, so from this stage, what you want to do, I tend to use a template. You can do this freehand if you want. I just find templates are easier. You can see on these here, it's actually a piece of card that's been folded in half. And what I tend to do, you fold your piece of card in half like this, you draw half your template round, you then cut that template out, and basically you then get a perfectly symmetrical template to use. rather than trying to do it freehand and having one side slightly rounder than the other or what have you. And I've got a couple here that I tend to use more often than not, and it's really just choosing the size that you want for your particular bowl. I'll go with a slightly larger one, and all you really need to do, you can be as detailed or not if you like here. I mean, you can find the centre of the wood, you can bring this, yeah, exactly right. I tend to do it by eye. And there you have it. So once that's wedged back in, you've got several options here. You can start with a gouge, you could use a chisel, you could use a knife, a spoon knife, it's entirely up to you. I tend to use an adze. This was something I've only bought fairly recently, and I'm certainly not an expert in its use, but it basically allows you to remove quite a lot of material quite quickly. So to get your bowl started, start in the centre and work your way out from there. And then flip over every now and again so you can work both sides evenly. And then once you've got it down to sort of roughly here, obviously it's not quite a bowl shape yet, but we've taken off quite a bit of material, which you can sort of see from here. I would then move over to a gouge and basically just start taking a little bit more material off. You can go from either side at this point. Okay, so that's about as deep as I want to take it at the moment. There you have the beginnings of the bowl. I mean, obviously it's quite rough at the moment. Now, two reasons for that. One, I don't want to go too deep too early on. Reason being is we need to remove a lot of this material first, and in order to do that, if we make this too deep, you'll end up just getting a hole straight through the bottom if you're not careful. So what I'll do, as this seasons, it becomes slightly easier to carve as well. At the moment, because it's so damp, it's sort of sliding straight through, and it's sort of chewing up in the middle, which we don't want it to do. So what I'll do is I will get the axe back out, and we'll take this off a little bit more.